this video, we'll be covering how to make adjustments to your clips in Sequence. The first thing we're going to do is select the clip that we want to make adjustments to. When you select the clip, you'll be able to see this side inspector over here, which has all of your controls. At the top over here, we see layout controls, so we can move the clip to the left, to the right, back to the center, or up or down. Over here we have position controls, so if we wanted to shift the image left or right, we could do that by adjusting these values. These values are also keyframeable, so if you wanted something to move from left to right, up or down, you could also use these keyframes here to make those adjustments. When it comes to scale, this basically means making the video larger or smaller, and you can do that simply by adjusting these values here, and again you can keyframe it to make it zoom in or zoom out. At the current state of Sequence, when it comes to scale, these values are not linked. So if you wanted to scale proportionally, you would have to kind of do the calculations or math for that outside and bring those values in. Over here we have our opacity controls. This will basically make an image more or less translucent. So for example, I have this text overlay. If we wanted to make it more translucent, we could do that by adjusting this value here. Opacity is again really good if you wanted to make a fade in or fade out effect. So let's say we wanted to make this fade out. What we could do is we could keyframe this, keep that at 100, and then go to the end of the clip and make the keyframe 0. And if we play that back, we'll be able to see that the text actually fades out. And finally, we have color over here. We'll talk more about that in a separate video. And finally, one last thing about manipulating the clips themselves in the timeline. Something that you can actually do is change the size of how they appear in the timeline. So this is just good if you want to keep your clips a little bit more organized. So maybe for this one, I'll keep this as medium or small, just because it's a text overlay and not necessarily a main clip. That's just kind of how I like to organize it. But that's everything for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.